I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Sorry, buddy. You've been kicked out. So in my last video, I gave some thoughts on modern Star Wars and why I was over it personally. And everyone in the comments really took it personal to themselves, as if they've ever worked on Star Wars. It really is like Star Wars is people's lives these days. So anyway, I feel like I didn't get my my thoughts or my proper reasoning across, because lots of comments, a couple of them just said I was stupid. It's pretty funny. And so I thought I'd come here today and just explain my reasoning and respond to some of your comments. So let's see what we've got here. So Mars Sol Flaco said, Order 66 had no effect. Lightsabers are useless weapons now. Everyone is force sensitive. The rebellion was meaningless, and somehow Palpatine survived. Thank you, Kathleen Kennedy and Disney/Lucasfilm. Thumbs down. And to an extent, I agree. There's a lot of Jedi running around now. Sabine got stabbed in episode 1 of Ahsoka, and she's just fine. You know, I feel like everyone has made that point. It's such a non-point at this point. Whatever. People seem to be enjoying Ahsoka too, so that's fine. I'm happy for you. That's great. Somehow Palpatine survived is also, yeah, pretty shit. Austin Courier said, "Don't let the door hit you on the way out." A fellow comedy man, I see. Thank you. I won't. Trey Davis wrote a short novel. So basically this video is just someone complaining over the little things people stop caring about after a few months. First, Ahsoka without her headband or headpiece isn't something new. She was without a headpiece as a child in TOTJ, which nobody complained about. First of all, I didn't watch Tales of the Jedi, which I read that comment a few times to figure out what you were talking about. Yeah, I had no interest in watching any more Star Wars things at that point, so yeah. Also, Ahsoka without a headband, I just made a joke about it, just looked funny. Fuck, I'm not allowed to fucking say anything. I get tired of hearing fans say, oh, this doesn't hold my interest. Okay, just stop watching the franchise. It's not hard, apparently it's giving you some interest to continue watching it, and you complaining about Disney Jedi Purge not killing Jedi, and yet in the EU, over 180 plus Jedi survive. Nobody complains about that. First of all, I didn't know. I don't care about the EU personally. It's not what I was referencing. Thanks you for bringing that up. And Inquisitors during Palpatine's Empire aren't Sith, they are just Darkside wielders. And again, EU had hella Inquisitors. Again, I don't care about the EU. So if you're not going to complain about how some of the EU stuff is, then don't complain at all. No, I think the EU's fucking stupid. Alright? Then if you was an actual fan, you would remember Palpatine from the EU had Mara Jade. And if you even... Again, I don't care about the EU! Stop bringing it up! Ethcoth... Yeah, this is just, you don't like Disney Star Wars, but I bet you like the EU. Which I don't, so... Yeah. Your points for this video, Your points for this video isn't new. Been said by many so-called pre-Disney Star Wars fans. I actually can say this about me. I might not like the sequels, Resistance, Book of Boba Fett, Mando Season 3, Kenobi, but I will give them credit for shows like Rebels and... Rebels? What the Okay, hang on. Here's another point. Everyone likes to pretend that they were always a fan of Rebels now. You fucking weren't. I guarantee you weren't. No one watched that fucking show. Fucking space whales. But I'll give them credit for shows like Rebels, Ahsoka, and or Tales of the Jedi, because those were/are good shows that is giving the fans something we never thought we needed. Who knew Andor was going to be better than Kenobi? well, looking back at it, it's hard to be worse than Kenobi, isn't it? HG Crazy commented, okay, a couple of things first. First things I agree with. Ahsoka in live action is really hard. TBH, I think they did the best they could with it, and younger Ahsoka looks really good. She looks like too young. I don't know. I always assumed Ahsoka at like the end of the Clone Wars was like 20 or like 23. You know, like she got older as the show went on. I don't know. Biggest disagreement is the Dark Jedi and the Rule of Two. First off, the rule was broken, but they didn't really train them. They were basically pawns, and the Rule of Two made them able to hide. But they rule the galaxy now, so a few extra spares to throw around ain't a bad idea. The other thing is Force users are being born after Order 66, so naturally they're going to lean into the dark side. So, one thing I wanted to bring up here is that polluting the airways with this many dark side users makes them feel like nothing. Like they're just characters to die at the end of a show. Whereas, you know, in the original trilogy, there was only ever Darth Vader and the Emperor. And they felt like menacing because it was just the two of them, and somehow they were actually running the entire operation, you know? They were running the Empire. And it was a thing, too, of Darth Vader kneeling to the Emperor made him feel like he's the big bad, you know? There was always only the two of them. It was just them, you know? And then they add in like a million Inquisitors, and it's like, oh, well, I guess Darth Vader and Darth Sidious really aren't that special, are they, if there's a million of them? Jose DH1XZ commented, if Ahsoka was so important to Star Wars, she would have been in one of the movies. She feels like someone's OC that has been rewritten into everything. Boy, you fucking... you made people mad, brother. 40 replies. I'm not even going to open it, but I will say, Ahsoka was originally George Lucas's idea, but for some reason she just didn't end up in the movies, which I think she should have been. I think that would have given her a real more legitimacy, especially since I don't really like what's the actor's name? I don't really like Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. I don't think she looks the part, personally. Emily Daniel commented, TLDR, a casual Star Wars fan complaining about how Star Wars works and is frustrated because they don't want to catch up on non-movie media. And yeah, I don't want to catch up on why would I? Why should I? Honestly, it's not interesting. It's not fun to watch. Especially Ahsoka's just been. Did you remember Rebels? I bet you liked Rebels, didn't ya? Did ya? I didn't really like Rebels, if you couldn't tell. I thought it was pretty boring, pretty bland. Very kid friendly, but I mean it's a kid show, so it should have been. And also catching up on non-movie media, boy, that makes me think of another franchise. Might make a video on Marvel and why I'm over that as well. Get all the hate comments I can. Mikey Rules 2023 commented, Ahsoka existed during the Clone Wars. She was a kid being trained by Anakin at the time. Pay attention, people would know that. The fuck? How is that ever my point, that she just never existed? She didn't exist in the movies. But then they made her up afterwards, you fuckwit. It's called bias blind. Okay, Emily, go fuck yourself. No, thick. I like the way you spelled thick. THICH. Damn, I'm thick, boy. Kat Thompson commented, Mandalorian Season 3, Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, all trash. Andor was watchable, but few people have seen it. And as far as the sequel trilogy, good lord, what a joke, yeah. Andor is by far the best of the Star Wars shows, just in terms of direction and acting and CGI. It looks fantastic, honestly. I'm shocked that it was a Star Wars thing, but like I said, I still haven't finished it, so no comment on if it's actually good. So Conrad Kowalski said, from what you're saying, it seems the problem isn't Star Wars, you're just tired of it, move on. See, I would disagree. The problem is Star Wars. The problem is it doesn't feel special anymore. Remember when what is it called? The Force Awakens came out and everyone was so excited for it? That was special. There was fucking energy in the air, brother. Then Ahsoka just got chucked on fucking Disney Plus and everyone's like, I liked Rebels. I was always a fan of Rebels, man. Oh, fuck. I just got jump scared by my own video. Fuck you. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, okay. Chris Cummings commented another short novel. The movies, especially the prequels, did a great job with giving us hints that the galaxy was populated, something that George Lucas in the 80s struggled with because of technology and financial constraints. There's a good point there, actually, I think. The reason that the original trilogy is loved so much is because it looks like it was just made with the budget of like a ham sandwich. It's because it's a guy had a vision, he wanted to make a movie, and he didn't really have the funds to do it, didn't really get the support that he needed, but he still made it, and it's a classic to this day. That's why those 3 first movies are so good, because a guy had a vision, he made the movies, and everyone loved them. But nowadays you see like all these shows coming out, and they're just mega corporation product you must consume. As a kid, I really loved Cloud City, and I still do. I think it's pretty much a neutral location where an awful lot could occur. Yeah, definitely. Ahsoka just seems as though it's halfway done. Like, there could be something there, but it's so slow as if it's designed for people over 70, especially those who have cognitive issues for whatever reason and can't handle anything moving too fast or talking too much. I can get really into the weeds about Star Wars, and I appreciate other people when they do so. From what I've seen, the first season of The Mandalorian showed us a populated galaxy, and then it became short stories of just a few people. I think the money was burnt through pretty quick. Somebody, KK, must be sitting on an awfully pretty bank account. KK? Who the fuck is KK? KK Slater? From Animal Crossing? Oh, Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, yeah, probably. So Curious George commented, it's Disney Star Wars, 2 different products, and then Conrad Kowalski commented back and said, that's a bullshit line that people use to appear as fans of the universe, just to pretend that their hate on everything that comes out has justification. I agree with Curious George. Disney Star Wars feels different. It feels like a mega corporation telling you to consume this product. Then I actually commented back, there's just too much content now. There's such a thing as too much of a good thing, especially when it's just not as good as it used to be, and I really stand by that. But also, there is way too much fucking content now. I remember when we got like 3 movies, and that was it, you had to wait. Then we got like what do we get with the Clone Wars? We got a couple of games in the meantime. Speaking of, I haven't talked about the games at all, because, gonna be honest, I didn't like, what was the first one? Fallen Order. I hated the map design. It sucked. You had to travel back through everything over and over and over again. It's fucking boring. I haven't played the new one. I've seen good reviews. All my friends really like it. So yeah, I guess that's it. Maybe I got my point across this time. Maybe. I really don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments, I suppose. I might reply to some more comments. Probably not like this. I'll just, type them out, but we'll see what happens. See ya.
What do you mean you lost the baby? Go find it.